What's going on, Marvel MCU Skrull fans? Myself and Amanda are back. We are here today to give you our thoughts on episode 2 of Secret Invasion. Before we get into it, I want to thank y'all for clicking on the video. Do us a favor if you're enjoying the conversation, if you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up, consider sharing, comments. I want to know what y'all thought about this episode. We get a big moment here. Very, very big moment. So we have a guy who at this point, who we talked about in episode 1, she's conflicted. Once she found out how her mother died, she's now want to help her dad and seeing how deep into it she is. So she is spying on Gravik and she follows his second in command. And we see him go into like this closed off area in their compound. He's talking to this Dr. Dalton. You can't hear them. You have to have your subtitles on, but they're having this conversation about, we need to find a new harvest and this, then the third. And we get this shot of this machine that she's building. And it doesn't just stop there, Amanda, but we go from there and have Gaia on this computer, very old school computer, which makes sense because they don't want to, anyone to hack into their systems. She looks on her computer, Amanda, and she finds some very interesting information. And as you all can see on the screen now, this Dr. Dalton is experimenting with a Groot species, Frost, Beast, and Call of Cillian. Amanda, Groot, the Beast, and that Frost Beast, if I'm not mistaken, is from Thor 2, The Dark World, when we had that creature that was running around. So we assume that it died eventually. And the Cole Obsidian character, Infinity War, it was the child of Thanos, and one cut off their hand and left it somewhere in the snow. So they have picked up all these different. I don't know how they got Groot. I don't know where they found the Groot species, or maybe
it's scaring me, to be honest.
I mean, they are aliens. Maybe somewhere in their journey, they found the Groot's home planet and got a twig. I don't know. Maybe Groot, because I don't think Groot has ever. Well, he was on Earth for Infinity War, but he dusted away. So I don't know where they would have gotten a Groot anything. But they have it. And what it's all building to, Amanda, again, for those that are familiar with Secret Invasion or familiar with Skrulls, there is a particular section of Skrulls that are referred to as Super Skrulls. In the comics, they have adapted the abilities of the Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, the Thing. So, and they were very integral in the actual comic book run. So, Amanda, we are seeing the beginnings of them becoming Super Skrulls. What do you think about that? And also, too, I have this shot from the trailer. I think their plans work out because it looks like a Groot arm to me, Amanda, if I ever seen one.
Yeah.
So the threat has now gotten bigger, Amanda. What do you think about this big reveal here?
That's exciting. I didn't pick up on that. I didn't think of Super Skrull. I didn't read the comics, so I didn't think there would be a larger implication. But I was just like, oh my God, now that you just said that, that's really cool. And I think that the Skrulls, like you said, they cannot end this season or this series without planting something in a movie, planting something on a larger scale.
Groot arm. I like the wordplay, Amanda.
I did it. But I do think, like you mentioned, you said the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
They can take over their powers, and I think that what if we have that as a first type of villain instead of Doom, and we can build up to Doom later for introducing Fantastic Four. I think that the seeds are here, not to be punny, but the seeds are here. But I, like you said, I think that's really cool, and there's a lot that they can do with that. So that is exciting.
It is. I'm very. And they're also too, because as we always talk about, Marvel never takes straight from the source material. They adapt things. So like you just mentioned, the origins of the Super Skrull is so connected to the Fantastic Four, but this is kind of the MCU's way of building their own Super Skrulls. And like you said, I would imagine that it carries over beyond this particular show. So very cool moment, especially for the super sweaty comic book fans out there, of the planting of the seeds of, and not to only, we just saw those, and also too, I didn't take the full screenshot. So a little screenshot of Extremis, the Iron Man 3 thing that they were building. So they have, so it makes me wonder what else, there was the, aliens from Avengers, the Jatari, there was the, all the writers from Infinity War. So there's so much on the world that they could have taken. And it goes into this next scene here, Amanda, which was my favorite scene in this episode, the conversation between Rhodey and Nick Fury. And before we break down this scene, the thing that I really love was like, okay, why hasn't Nick called? Again, we know the Avengers aren't really Avengers, but why hasn't he called a Hawkeye, called I don't even know who Nick Fury would know, because he doesn't know Spider-Man anymore. So who would he call? Someone from Wakanda? I don't know who Nick at this point, because all the Avengers are gone. But
Captain Marvel, but you know,
don't even get me started. You know what I'm saying? Like, where is she? No one knows. Where's Waldo? But they do address why he hasn't called any of his super friends, because as that scene just showed, I don't want the Avengers to get involved, because then the Skrulls are fighting the Avengers. They can take the Avengers identity, and then we got terrorist Avengers, dark Avengers. So I love that explanation of why this is a Nick Fury story, because he doesn't want to get any other people involved, which I like that. I still think we're going to get some type of cameo or some type of, whether it is Monica Rambeau, like we talked about, with her being friends with Gaia when she was young, or Captain Marvel, who is somewhere out there.
I mean, it makes sense.
It makes, I think I lean towards more of Monica Rambeau, just due to the fact that the Captain Marvel or the Marvel's trailers showed that it seemed like Nick Fury and Monica already have like a relationship, because she's like, I'm gonna, whatever they were doing in the trailer, I'm gonna get closer to it, Nick. So it seems like they already have met each other. And plus, we know from WandaVision, he wants to meet you. So I would imagine that maybe Monica Rambeau, and not even including that she knows Gaia, that might be a bond or a reunion that we can get. So I would imagine she might be the big cameo, if there is one, in the show. But thank you for watching today's spoiler review of episode 2. Let us know what you thought of this episode, with theories, Easter eggs, things that you all picked out of this episode that really stood out to you. Like, share, comment, subscribe. You all have been awesome, and we will catch you on the next video.